working. Let's go, baby. Bomb arrows to the rescue. Ha! Ah! No! Oh, that assist, baby! No! Don't touch him. No! You... What did I do? It's an accident. Freaking Vito. I got the triple collapse! Oh! Ah! Oh, Dinell, go to the fire thing. It teleports us.
I am on money back.
I trusted you! Trombone. This one is trombone. Yo, I got it! Yes! Let's go! Yeah! 24 hours done. 24 hours finished.
Oh, time to beat 23 hours, 28 minutes.
Oh my god! We did it! We did it!
What happens if I redeem?
Oh my god! I couldn't have done it without you guys.
I redeemed it.
Holy shit!
Wait, I gave him $50. Rigged. Are you excited for Monday? End stream. No! I redeemed it. I redeemed it fair and square. Oh? Oh, my lights are doing things. Why were my lights doing things? Did someone follow? I don't see a follow alert. Weird, but okay. What's up, doctor? Oh. Are you excited for Monday? Actually, so I was gonna eat spicy chicken flavored ramen today, but I decided not to because I don't know why. Hello there. I just didn't feel like doing it. Felt like doing some chill stuff. Why would I be? Because tomorrow we're gonna eat spicy ramen on stream. That's why. What's up, Dino? How are you? Dream Element says hi as well. Listen. I made that face so I could post something on Twitter.
Hello there.
There we go. Ramen plus Mad Dog. Shit! That just sounds nasty, bro. But maybe. I'm dead inside? Why are you dead inside? The hell? Why are you dead? Ping still first. I did. Got it. How's everyone doing? I don't know. I feel like I've been becoming a little lazy lately. But at the same time, I'm getting stuff done. It's a weird feeling. Doing good? Nice to hear, Nathan. He lost so many points to Doctor. That's a fair enough reason to get mad or sad. Today we're going to do a bunch. We're going to do a bunch of just chill games. It's going to be a chill day. With some chill vibes, I guess.
Hello there.
Whoa. It's been a long time. Not playing any Pokemon, but how you doing, Willie? I remember you just by looking at your profile picture. Musician man. How you doing, Willie? Genshin. No Genshin. Why did he eat ping pong? Wait, who's where? I don't know who where is. How you doing? I'm sure you could tell that a lot of things have changed here. But yeah. Okay, sad. You dropped an album. Is that why you're here? Just to show us? That would be fun. What's the name of your album? Is it on Spotify? Ping didn't get it. I didn't. I didn't get it. Got ad? I'm here because I'm bored. Oh. Well, you should tell us your thingy. You should tell it to us anyway. All right. So maybe we'll put some of your music on right now, you know? What's a wordle word? Champ. Ayo, we got C. It's called unfinished, unreleased, and underwhelming. Aw, so why'd you release it? Well, you said unreleased. It's not unreleased, right? Oh, pee small. Conch. It was until a few days ago. H. There's no A, so that wouldn't be a good word, Dino. You suck. You don't suck, but that's not a good word. Corn. Now it has to be 5 letters. 5 letters. It was until a few days ago. Do you know how to play Wordle, Welly? Gay corn. That's still not 5 letters. What if we put... Basically, this game works like this. You guess a word that's 5 letters long. If it's green, if it becomes green, it means that it's in the right position of the mystery word. If it's yellow, it means that letter is in that word, but not in the right position. So this word starts with C. And there's an H somewhere in it. That's what we know so far. No, there's an H, bro. There's an H. Color. No, there's an H. Maybe conch. But there's only one C here. Chasm. Okay, so the other thing is that the gray letters are not in the word. So A, M, P are not in the word. The chasm's not. I don't know any words with H. You try one. Catch? No, there's an A. Chill. No, because the H can't be in the second position. It could be in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Since it's yellow, it means it's not in the second position. But it's in the word. It's not in that position, but in the word. Cooch? No. Chompy. Yeah, I thought conch too, but conch has a C here. If there were 2 C's, then I think it would show green over here. But maybe not. Let's just do conch. There's no A, Dino. Oh, okay. So we know that it starts with a C, ends with an H, and has an O somewhere in the middle. Couch. No, couch doesn't work. By the way, you guys could request music if you would like. Catch doesn't work because of the A. Cola. I don't know. This one's hard. Koala. Just kidding. Basically, it's like this. C blank 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 H, and there's an O somewhere. But the cloth. Actually, yeah. Did you look it up, Nathan? Cloth might actually be it. Let's go. Did you look it up? No? Good shit, bro. It's really easy. All right, Fairy. All right. What's up, Fairy? How you doing? Can you guys guess what this is? This is supposed to be a country. What country? How'd you even look it up? It's a daily thing, so it's the same one. Like, everyone gets the same one every day, I'm guessing. But how dare you? I don't know. You got it really well. I'm sorry. Good job. That's clearly Wisconsin. Australia? That's not Australia. What are you, crazy? Australia is bigger. Try Germany. It's probably a country in Africa. Let's go Germany. Okay, it's 6,800 kilometers south of Germany. So probably Africa. Kind of looks like a skull. Yeah. Kinda. I'm gonna guess it's some African place. Morocco. Ooh. Morocco. No, you suck. It's southeast of Morocco. North America. I don't even know where Morocco is. I'm not gonna lie. Where's Morocco? I don't remember. And I don't know if Iceland is right. Zimbabwe? Is Zimbabwe that big? I'm gonna try Nambia, okay? Namibia. Oh! So it's definitely not Zimbabwe. It's northeast of Namibia. Tanzania is northeast of it, right? We're getting really close. Can Tanzania be an option here, guys? I feel like it might actually be an option. Let's go! Good shit, Dino. No, it's not Congo. Congo is north of Namibia. Not northeast. Democratic Republic of Congo, I think. Alright, I actually forgot to pull up the other one. Global. This one is great. Let's type in a country. You questioned me. I still put it in, okay? That's what she said. Alright, let's put Namibia. No, let's put Egypt, because why not? Ooh. Bro, it's always in Africa, bro. I swear to God. Oh, Egypt's actually a bad guess. So the way this game works, you have to guess the country, and the darker the color is, the closer you are to where the country is. What's up, Ping Pong? How you doing? Africa has so many countries. Yeah. Democratic Republic of Congo. Invalid. You're invalid. Congo. And the game freezed. I have them all memorized. Oh, so you could help out. Okay, Congo is further away. England. England is all the way here. I don't think it's England, but it could be. Nathan guessed cloth and he looks it up, but Dinal guesses Tanzania and you don't question that? Yeah. Why is Tanzania so... What, you don't know African geography? Loser. Bangladesh. Switzerland. You guys really think it's Europe? I know Bangladesh is in Europe, but... I mean, it actually looks like it's not in Africa here. But it could be. It could be in Northwest Africa. Nope. PP racist. Mexico is all the way here, bro. What you saying Mexico for? This is not Mexico. This time it's not a shape. You just have to guess the country. And the darker the color is, the closer you are to the correct country. So we guessed 2 in Africa, but this one is closer. So it could be... You know what? F you all. I'm going to try my parents' country, Azerbaijan. Oh, okay, it's not Azerbaijan. Try Democrat. It can't be Democratic Congo. That's here. That's like further away. Maybe Kazakhstan, maybe. Try Mexico. Estonia. Guys, Israel. No, it can't be Israel. Israel's here. Azerbaijan is here. So these are equally like close. Oh, actually, it could be Israel. I think Israel's too close, though, to Egypt. What's right here? Kazakhstan. Russia is above. It's not Russia. It's literally in between these two. So you have... And Russia doesn't make sense, guys. Russia doesn't make sense. Spain. He's just trying to trickle me. Israel. It's not Israel. Israel, guys. Israel is literally right here. Okay? Israel's right next to Egypt. It's equal distance from Israel and Azerbaijan. It's literally in the middle right here. No, you're being dumb, Dino. It's not in between. It's an angle. Probably Western Europe. That is true. It could be here instead. That is true. I'm making it go longer for the content, okay? Yeah, I was thinking maybe Jordan, actually. Jordan is like here. We could go further north though. What is this? Syria? I don't remember. Denmark. We just had a presentation about Asia. I'm gonna try Syria. What the hell, bro? I think Doctor was right. And it froze again. I'll go further north. Yeah, you're 100% right. I guess it's somewhere here. Okay, you're being... Do you know? You said... What did you say? What did you say? Let me scroll up. You said Spain, Russia. Spain is literally all the way here. And Russia is like above Azerbaijan. So that makes no sense. So, no. You're being dumb. Turkey? You guys want to go Ukraine for the memes? Just kidding. Guys, tell me what you think. I'll put it. Poland? You think it's that far away? You sticking with Denmark? We will see, Dinelle. We will. Okay, Poland is really close. Watch it actually be Russia. Europe is so tiny. Fucking Denmark. Turkey. You know what? I'm thinking it's Spain. You see, it's not Spain, dude. Okay, so it might legit be Russia. No, but Russia doesn't make sense because Azerbaijan is like almost on the border of Russia. That makes no sense. It might be like one of the Nordic countries though. Poland is so close to Denmark, but this is not like right on the border. Right on the border would look like this, the dark red. What's up, Angel? We could all be able to tell if it was west or east with guessing Spain. It doesn't tell you west or east. Oh, bro, you're just making excuses, bro. It's not Spain. What is Russia invading? Ukraine. I'm stubborn and sticking with that. Denmark. I'm gonna go Norway. Norway's mad close. So it's literally like Denmark or Sweden. I'm gonna go Sweden. Well, I forget this. This is Finland and Sweden. Sweden and Finland. Ow. Go ahead, Angel. Sweden? Ukraine. It's definitely not Ukraine now. Sweden. Bruh. It's on the border. It's so messed up. It must be Finland, yeah? I spelled it wrong. The answer is Denmark? It could be. Bruh. Alright, Denmark. It wasn't Denmark! Bro, these countries are all stupid. They're all... Is it the UK? No, it can't be. Oh, yeah, it could be. We're getting further away. It must be Ukraine or, like... Iceland, yeah. Doctor said Iceland before, too. It was Iceland. Doctor said that, like, 10 guesses ago. Doctor, sumimasen. Do every country before Denmark despite fairy? I kind of did do that. Sorry for not posting, but... You just posted a Clash Royale video? Damn, that's a lot of troops. I used to play this game a lot. I don't play it anymore, though. Damn, it's a lag in your computer. Alright, let's go with the Daily Gordle. Master Royale? Is that different? Iceland, aka colder Denmark. Me when I clash my Royale. Wow, so funny. So funny. Alright, let's do the Sidorkle. How's this one work? It's the same thing as Wordle. It's the same thing as the Wordle one. But it's 16 of them. You'll see, do we get all 16? Of course we're going to get all 16. You guys could guess channel points, but we're 100% going to get all 16. The 3 words I started with are chump, steal, and nidor. Yes! Let's go! I have 2 of them, actually. I got this in school, yeah. I got this like in elementary school. I don't know why I still have it. 30 on your name, don't fail me. Ping pong? Like a really weird and modified version of it. Ah, it's a different app? You played yours today? Let's go. Played All-Star on it. Like that, right? All that's glittered is gold. It is a different map. When did it come out? Yeah, let's go with Steel. Chump. Let's go with Chump. I like that. That literally sucked. You can only get it in Google like last year. Oh, that's weird. Steel. Let's go with Steel. Ooh. Okay, let's look at this. STEP. What word is with STEP? Contain them. Yeah, I read that, Fairy, but I don't want to guess the 3 words because that's too easy. Let's guess based off the letters we have right now. And on phone only. Yeah, it's a mobile game. Android. Spelt. There's no L in this word, but good guess. Yes, so it's still 5 letters. It's just you have to solve 16 of them. So as you can see in the middle here, it's split like in the middle. And yeah. We'll go full screen. Swept. Swept is a good guess. Let's go! I'm kind of confused. Okay. So we guessed chump. Then we guessed steal. Then I was like, let's try to guess this word. We have to guess 16 different like word areas. Since we had S, T, E, and P as possible letters, and that we knew S was in the same position and E is in the same position as the mystery word, then we had to figure out how T and P are reorganized, rearranged, and what letter is missing. Thanks for the... Bye, Angel. One of them starts with a C then. Yes, exactly. So this section starts with a C and has an A somewhere in it. Exactly. But all the letters that are here that are grayed out or like blacked out are letters that aren't in that word. Oh, that could help too. I don't want to guess Nidor. I want to be stubborn. I want to see what we could get without just guessing words, you know? Like here, we got T-U-A-T. Oh, this is nasty. Ugh. Camel. There's no E or L, so camel wouldn't work. Or M, but good guess. It's not just guessing words, it's strategy. No, it wastes a word. I know, but like, it's not as fun. Yeah, Dinelle explained it better. Thank you. So like here, we got T-A-U. Alright, let's see if we got any good ones. Oh, here. S-H. These are in the right place. And there's a W somewhere. Yeah, look at the other ones too, actually. Where they have so many, like, hints, kind of, you know? We'll go to the SW one after. There's a couple of good ones. Let's try this one, I guess. Shown, shown. Look at all 3 of you saying shown. Shown sounds like a good guess. Ooh. What? What's the last letter? Showa? Showy? Showt? Shows? Shows? Oh, like he shows me something. No, but then S would be... I don't know. I don't know how that works with duplicate letters. I'm a little lost on that. What do you guys think? So the S-H-O-W is correct. It's just the last letter we don't know. Shows works. We go back to it. Yeah, we could go back to it. Because it wouldn't help on anything else either. Probably shows. Yeah, we'll go back. We'll go back. Okay, so here we have SWO. Like swole. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else. Whoa, that's a lot of letters. 4 letters. Anything else that looks good? That jelly bean was nasty. Sword. Let's go back to that one. Sword. Sword actually looks really good. Yeah, let's try sword. Nice! Hell yeah, Dino. Double letters show green as priority, then yellow. If you had a second S, but in the wrong place, that'd be yellow. Wait, what? Double letters show green as priority, then yellow. If you had a second S, but in the wrong place, that'd be yellow. But that's the thing. We haven't guessed another S in a different location, so we don't know if there's another S, yeah? Okay, let's go shows. That's only if you had a guess with 2 S's already. Yeah. That's what I was just saying, yeah. All right, let's go shows. What? The hell is this word? I should have listened to myself and Dinell and just not guessed. But then if we got it, I would have said, oh, it's good we guessed. So it is what it is. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Horde. Which one are you guessing horde for? This one? Whoa, let's get to one. Let's get to one first. Whoa, we have a lot of letters on this one. All right, let's guess this one. Is showy a word? Maybe. I mean, let's see. Showy is a word in this game, so that could be it. All right, let's guess this one. We have CHTOR. By the way, let me go on the Discord and tell people we're doing Actually, no. It's not necessarily community games. Sorry about that, guys. Lasso is a word. That is indeed a word. Torch. Oh, lasso on the right one. Yeah, that's definitely lasso. Let's see if torch... Well, it looks like it is. Torch looks good, too. Lasso looks good, too. Nice. Good shit, guys. I don't know what you were saying horde for, Ping, but... Where's the one we're struggling with? Huh? It didn't give us anything for that. Let's try this one. Large? No. Mailer? Let's see if we got any good ones. Okay, this one has a lot of letters, guys. These two have a lot of letters. I wanna feel. Tattoo? No. Here's 4 letters. It has to be 5-letter words. Your wordle strategy is lacking. It's more fun like this, bro. I don't know what to tell you. In my opinion. Somewhere I belong. So O has to be first or fourth here. That might be useful. Horde. Oh, that's what Ping was saying for this one, yeah? Horde doesn't work because O can't be the second letter here. And there's no D. All right, let's try this. This has 3 letters in place. C-O blank R. And there's an A somewhere. C-O blank R. Bored? I don't know. You're bored? Aw. C-O blank R. Cobra. Ooh. Cobra looks good. Let's try Cobra. Nice. Debit? This could be debit, like debit card. What do you guys think? Debit? Okay. No guessing? Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just playing around with you. Whoa, we got Obra. Hobra. We have to reorganize Hobra into a word. Bora, broa, Obra. Oprah. Obra. What could this be? Harbo? Braho? Boro? Barrow? Horba. I mean, we know all the letters. That's why this one's a weird one. I feel like if I type it out, it would be easy. But yeah, we have O-B-R-A-H. Harbo? Is Harbo a word? No. What goes with H? Broa? I don't know. What goes with H? I feel like H has to start or end. Hi, what's up, Cortez? How you doing? What word do you think goes with Rohoba? Rabho. Orba. Just made dinner. Nice. What you eating for dinner, bro? Guys, the stupid ass thing on my glasses broke. So I have to wear my old glasses. Because it hurts when wearing those glasses. But I hate how these glasses look. I'm already black enough as it is, my features. I don't like that it emphasizes more of my black darker features, I should say. Ping Pong the animation. Oh yeah, I still have never watched that. Have you watched Haikyuu, Nathan? H is throwing me off? Yeah. Alright, have a great night, Ping Pong. I made tteokbokki with some rice and kimchi. Damn, when are you gonna move to Korea, bro? Abhor! That is 100% the word. It fits in also. Abhor. That's right. Very nice. Let's go. Very nice. We got O and A here and a T. That's not much. Bro, what the hell? This must be showy. Okay, we got T blank blank OR. Okay, that doesn't help either. Okay, this has a lot of letters. Let's do this one on the left. I was unironically recommending. Oh no, I figured. You forgot my name was Ping Pong, lol. So anything else? Haikyuu, Naruto, One Piece, Boruto. My Hero Academy. Ping Pong the animation, which I haven't watched, but Tutor. Oh no, this one is not Tutor. Unless you're saying for this one. Yeah? Maybe? Yeah, it's Tutor. Very nice. Ping Pong animation is like King of the Hill, but Japanese. I still haven't watched it. I don't like the animation style. You watched all of it? There's a newer anime that I was watching recently that I really liked. Oh, have you ever seen Vinland Saga? This is a Vikings anime. I feel like you would like that. With homemade rice cakes too. It was delish. Wow! You should take a picture, send it on the Discord so we could see how delish it is. But I mean, you already ate it, so sad. Show all the letters for this row. Mushoku Tensei. Oh yeah, people say that's good too. So we have M-E-A-L. I'll just keep it like this. M-E-A-L. I just have a picture of the Tsuboki, but I'll send it. Nice. Animation's the best part. You doink. Maybe. Meter. No. Oh, you're saying for the one on the right. Yes. Meter is probably right. Meter looks good. Let's go. Oh, and it starts with M-E here. Meals? I'm thinking meals. What do you guys think? Meals. M-E-A-L. Oh, no, there's no S. There's no S. Mealy. M-E-A, and then there's an A-L. But the A has to be next. The A has to be next. And the L has to be next. So it's melt. Melt? It can't be metal. FLCL. What's FLCL? Oh, yo. Meteor. Meteor? Guys, no. Okay. Basically, we got ME secured. And E... I mean, an A is not here or here. So A has to be third. L is not fifth, so it has to be fourth. So it has to be MEAL and then some other thing. Alright. Bye, Nathan. Mealy is a word? Yeah, should we guess mealy? Drink nothing but milk until you throw up. Didn't work. Let's go mealy. So we should be able to get the showy now. We should be able to get showy. There we go. What a dumb word. Showy. Let's get some of the later ones. Can I freedom something on this account? Freedom something? I don't... Huh? What is that? Can you redeem something on this account? No. The whole point is you can't do it on alt accounts. I'm sorry, Nathan. Unless it's like one... Nah, just no. Just no. Sorry. No, bro. No. Okay, just once. Go ahead. PER. Okay. This one ends in ER. How's the wordle? Going good, going good.
Jelly bean
I'm not gonna eat the jelly bean. You could redeem it. Didn't say I'm gonna eat it. You just got owned. Where's the redemption shit? Nights and lights and the one lights and light in your way. I know. Okay. No, because okay, good. Thanks, doctor. Thanks. Anyway, Wordle's going good. Wordle. This ends in ER, has an I somewhere. That's not very useful. And a P somewhere. Peer? I would say peer. Spear? Spire? I don't know. Pearl. No, it ends in ER. Unless you're talking about this one. This one could be Pearl. Nope, there's no E. You transfer your points, and I ban We Hate Ping Pong 2. If I see We Hate Ping Pong 2 in a prediction, because I could see everyone in a prediction. They look. Hey, what's up, gamer? I could see everyone in a prediction. I'll just ban you. We can do this after stream? No. I don't think you could, actually. Okay, not doing it. Real scheme here is the house gets all the points here. Sheesh. Ooh, this one is good. There's B-E-A-N. There's an ends in an A-N, and E is the second letter. We could, but would we? I don't know if you could. I don't know if you could do predictions when the stream's not up. All right, see ya, Nathan. Enjoy the anime. I'm kind of curious now, too. All right, B-E-blank-A-N. It doesn't necessarily start with B, but B-E-blank-A-N. Began. Actually, yes. Began sounds good. What's this feeling? I wanna rip a hole in the ceiling. Very nice. Very nice. Very be like, haha, easy. This one has E-G-I-N. E-G-I-N. We'll go back to it. Ooh, this one has U-O-blank-A. This one is literally guaranteed. U-O-T-A. Quota? What do you guys think of quota? that the UOTA is in the right place. I'm thinking quota. We got so many of these. I'm gonna do quota. Let's go! It worked. It filled out the top on the 4 over here. Okay. Still have nothing on these two. Let's try to get number 2 since it's 3 left. It was quota. Let's go. Quota. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, we got E-I-N-G. But the E is not in the 2nd or 3rd place. Number 2. What? You're gonna go do poo-poo? Yeah, let's do number 2. E-G-N. E-G-N. E-G-I-N. E-G-I-N. Those are the letters we know here. This one looks hard. Did we guess any? Oh, we did. We didn't guess anything with F. Binge? Feign. What do you guys think of feign? No, N can't be last. Never mind. That would be such a good word, though. I'm trying to figure out what the last letter is. J K Shiranai. L. I think we had a letter with. Yeah, we had a letter with L. No, we had. Oh, you already. Oh yeah, I forgot they all show on the bottom, bro. Fucking God, I always forget that. Oh, so it could literally be with a V. I was like, how'd you do that so fast? And it reminded me. Zinjay. Well, it's definitely not any of those words, but Z Kingay. That's not a word in this game. Giant. Let's see. E might be the starting letter. Good guess, Dino. It's technically a word. Let's see if it makes sense placement-wise. Yeah, this could be the word. Vegan. No A. But let's try. No, it's not the word. How many guesses we have left? Is it the same for everything? It is. We have 3 guesses left. We can't screw up one more time. We have no room for screwing up. We've never screwed up. This is our 3rd day doing this. Never screwed up. Okay, what did we gather from that, though? We know E is not for 2nd, 3rd, or 5th. It's either the first letter or the... Oh, it's not... Wait, what? Oh. It's not the 4th letter? It might even be starting with an E. Yeah, Enigma's too many. You know what? Let's go to the last 2. Maybe we got something here. Okay, with Ginge, we got I in the right place. Lay your hands on me. River. Nope, there's a P. It could be Piper. Nope, there's a P. Unless you guys were still guessing for the last word. No, you weren't. Oh, Ringer maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking Piper. I don't know why they made the layout scrollable. What do you guys think of Piper? If we screw up, though, we lost. How's it too many letters? Piper. What? Pipe who? Pipe her. Pipe your mom. Should we go Piper? Let's see if we could get... Piper, I barely know her. Piper, I barely... Oh. Viper. It could be Viper, too. It could be Viper. The thing is, it could literally be either. Damn it! You idiots! It was Piper. Why'd I listen to you guys? Now we lost. I'm just joking. You guys aren't idiots. Ban Fairy? No, I was thinking maybe it's Viper, and because you did the arrow, I was like, fine, 2 people think it's Viper. I'll go with it. Ban Doctor. We just lost. God damn it. Alright, can we get this word at least? Like, what the hell? Okay, it starts with E. I was right. What, bro? I should trust myself. It's energy. No, but it starts with E. You are, I guess so, doctor. It starts with E. N-I-G. It's the first one we lost. Barry got a lot today, though. E. The hell is this? Let's at least get one word. I don't know, bro. This game is dumb. Nah, this game's fun. I always say that when I suck at a game. This game is dumb. Okay, we know this starts with P-I and ends with A. P-I... Pizza? Okay, whatever. It was pizza. I actually... we would have won, guys. We would have won. Showy screwed us up, really. The showy. Why is it showy? What was the other word here, though? The second word was a king. Okay, yeah, ecking. Ecking. What the ecking does that mean? This game has been the best thing since pizza.
Eek.
Eking. Eking. They eked out their livelihoods. Oh, I heard that in a book. Ekins. Cobra also had us? Yeah. But I think Showy got us the most. But no, you're right, actually. Let's play some GeoGuessr. What the hell is this? That's a sexy ass cabin. That reminds me of a place in Japan that I was in. You guys want me to show you where I lived in Japan and like walk you guys through it? Or do you guys don't give a shit? I actually thought ecking, but then thought that's not a real word. Fair enough. Nah, you're not stupid. When I call people out on stuff, that means I'm comfortable enough to like joke around and be an asshole. You're not stupid. Guess I barely know her. What? This is like the weirdest. Oh yeah, what place has pine trees? Does anyone know? The sun is setting to the west or something. Let's go Europe. Oh, I wasn't far. It's in Russia. Mother Russia. Let's look at the map for a second. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, China. What was the country someone said when we were doing the other game where I was like, I don't remember. Oh, Morocco. Morocco is West Africa. Okay. All right. You were going to say Russia? Yeah, but even in Russia, guessing Russia is not necessarily... Because Russia is so big, like, you know. It could have been further. Can you do famous places? Yeah, we could do that. Oh, this is America. And it looks... Well, actually, no. It could be UK or something. I can't tell if it's folded or it's like... If it's broken or it's like... Wait, but the yellow road makes me feel like it's America. Literally everywhere. Also, trees aren't real. This Tahoe. Most things I say are supposed to be funny. I just wish I had that sweet 100 accuracy. This looks weird. This triangle. Does your skin feel weird too? I don't want to do that. UK doesn't have straight roads like that. US has like the yellow in the middle, I feel like. And then it says West 3. Oh, there's a car. Looks like shitty American sidewalks to me. We can't catch up to the car. The hell? I don't love where the answer to this question is. You do? Yeah, it doesn't look that shitty. It looks okay. Oh, it said something there. Nah, it kind of looks broken, actually. I can't tell what that is. I don't know. It looks kind of weird. The problem is with infrastructure is that roads get bad over time no matter where in the world, so keep that in mind, guys. Oh, let's go! I just randomly guessed. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Okay. Looks like Canada. Well, you were wrong. Usually the yellow in the middle makes me think of the States. I think that's generally the States. This is like a... Is this like in India or something? This looks beautiful. What the hell? This looks hella cool. Oh, it's like a monastery or something. It's either a mosque or a Buddhist temple. It's clearly a Rainbow Six Siege map. Yo, actually, though. Actually. Asian country. Yeah. You can't catch the car because Google Maps, but yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm unironically trying to be funny. Really? Oh, that's funny. Google Maps photos of the car being pulled over. Bangladesh, I'd guess Bangladesh. Why Bangladesh and not India? But okay. I mean, I have no idea where this is, so it just looks Asian. Let me just look at this map for a second. Okay. It's gonna be up in the mountainside, right? Well, maybe there. Maybe it's like Bhutan or Myanmar. Yo! How'd you guys know it was India? Did you like know the area? That was cool. Let's actually go Thailand. Nah, it was Bangladesh. What was that laugh? What is that? These houses look like suburban US, but I could be anywhere if it, okay. Well, we have English. It says .com. So I'm thinking US more and more now. National Construction, though. That's any US place. Okay, it's definitely US because of the stop sign, but where in the US? The UK also uses .com. Yeah, I know. But the UK also has .UK or something too, no? I mean, everywhere uses .com, but have trash, need a dumpster. Ooh, what is that area code? Does anyone know? I know it's not New York, that's all I know. Whoa, what the hell? Yo, imagine this is like the president's house or something. Why is it? They literally just blurred a whole house. Yo, that kid just disappeared. What the hell? Did you guys see that? He just disappeared. He went on the school bus. Probably Illinois. What number was it? 847 or something? Is it Cali? Nothing on the school bus. Why is that house blurred though? I'm like so curious now. Ping stalking kids on Google. Well, I was kind of curious where that guy. Fair, you think it's the UK? Just kidding. Also, just because of area, like land mass, it's a better guess if you see English and certain signs to guess US, I feel. Versus UK, if you're comparing those two specifically. But yeah, I mean, obviously the American flag, at this point, we know it's US. What? I have no idea where this is. Only thing is, I'm pretty sure it's not New York. Anyone flying an American flag here would be foolish to say the least. Yeah, there you go. It wouldn't make sense. I'd guess Illinois. Oh. I should have guessed Illinois. Wait, where is this? Chicago? That's a nice ass part of Chicago. Is that oh, it was Illinois. You were 100% right. I should have guessed Illinois. I was saying that even before. I read it at the wrong time. My bad. The hell is this? The phone number and bright yellow school bus and the word dumpster. Actually, one time I thought it was the US because of trash on the floor, and it was UK. So, shut up. We're not the only ones filled with trash on the streets. And honestly, trash, or you actually no, you're just saying because dumpster is English. And would you guys have something saying rubbish on it? This is Kansas. That's Europe. Kansas. That's what I thought. Flat means Kansas. Oh, I've been here. Okay. Honestly, stuff like this is so hard to tell. It could even be like a South, I don't know, it could be anywhere. The pole lines look very American though. Very old fashioned. It's Earth. I think Doctor's right. Look at Fairy and his Eurocentric view of the world, bro. Not everything is Europe. Why do you think it's Europe? I mean, I could see it being Europe too. That's oh, swimming pool. That's a thing. It's like such a random ass thing. The telephone poles just make me feel like it's the US though. Because like when I was in Europe, but I don't know. Who knows? We're getting to civilization. Poles being glitched apart, very American. UK being Eurocentric, ha. Whatever, bro. Whatever. That blue sky is very American. Okay, it's a ranch. It's America. You guys said Kansas. Let's go Kansas. Everyone was wrong. We're all idiots. It's Australia. Goddamn Australians, bro. Goddamn Australia. How are you right? Last second. Maybe that actually makes it Australian because Australia is basically the Farlands. Bruh. I read that like after I guessed it. Did you type it in afterwards? Kansas, Australia, duh. No, I'm not. I'm unmodding you. You could have said it earlier. Oh, it shows where other people guessed too? Is that what that is? Okay. I think Cortez said he wanted famous places, yeah? So let's go famous places. How do I just go back? He typed it before I was there. Oh. How does one double mod? I don't know. He can get super mod. I'm so bad with famous places. Like, I'm actually trash. So you guys are going to have to carry. I don't know what the fuck this is. It's a castle. I have no idea. It doesn't look like a very affluent, like, area. Maybe it is. I can't tell. It looks sick, though. It's a very cool looking place. This is from JoJo. Oh, you saw that one guy do that. Oh, was that a flag? I suck with flags, too. Isn't Super Duper Monitor a thing? Nope. Not from my understanding. Maybe? But if it gives you more permissions to do stuff, I don't know if I want to give you that. This looks like some like some European like landmark or something. Or it looks like, I don't know, it looks Swedish maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. The car is driving on the right side. I don't know. Wait, what language is that? Avio. Not English. We know it's not English, so that's how much we know now. Look in the town. Yeah, I just want to say the front of the castle first. Oh, the people. She's Asian. It's an Asian country. But she's white. No, she's white. They're all white. They're all white with blonde hair. It's Germany. Wait, it's actually Germany. Whoa! I was about to say, you could almost see their faces. It's Disneyland. P for parking? It's actually a very diverse group of people. Kind of? No, they're just suntans. They're all white people. Oh no, they're brown. So it's America. America's pretty diverse. Where is this? Western Europe, probably. Are the cars? Look at the road. I'm not asking for it or anything. Just curious. The Sheer Mountains command list has. Oh. I guess there is a super moderator. I don't know what that means though. Oh, what does this say? Naples. Naples, baby. 1997, the year I was born. La Villa. This is Naples. So what is that? Italy? Let's go. IQ plus. Italy, easy clap. Let's go. Where's Italy? There we go. You guys think it's the national park? This looks like it says national park. Wait, were we able to see water anywhere? It looks like it's a very mountainous area. So where in Naples? Can we get even more specific? Oh, here. Vola? Oh, it's not Villa. Huh. I feel like it must be next to these parks. Or something. You know what? Let's put like right here. What the hell? What is this bullshit? It's in France? No one can read French in chat? Come on, guys. I thought Italy when I asked you to look at the town. The white buildings gave it away. Well, apparently not. This is from the episode of... We're all wrong. I love how we're speaking like we're so knowledgeable. And we just fucked it up. It was totally not Naples. It was next to McDonald's. In France. The hell is this? This is where I want to go. Andorra. If I had money, I would travel and stream. It's McDonald's. 2 points. Lol. I'm still sticking with Italy. Okay. France would have a castle next to McDo. Spain was my second and France was my third. Why? Because you just saw the Romance language there? I've been here. Wait, this looks like a place I've been to. Like, no joke. Mount Rushmore? Well, I've not been to Mount Rushmore. Oh, it literally is Mount Rushmore. Well, I've never been there. I kind of want to get closer before we guess. From the buildings? Oh, that's cool. I feel like I've seen a video of this walkway. I guess this is just a very, like, I've been on hiking trails or whatever with this, like, pretty much exact walkway. They look the same in a lot of places, I guess. Is this the closest you could get? That sucks ass. Or this is the closest Google Maps could get. Whatever. I honestly don't know where the hell this is. Where is it, guys? Click from a distance. South Dakota. Okay. If I'd actually read the plaque, I could probably tell you the language. That's okay. It's okay. I just got excited because I saw Naples and I guessed right away. I didn't even think of the language. It just looked romancy. South Dakota, North Dakota. One of the Dakotas. Didn't someone recently say where... Didn't we have... Oh. Thomas Jefferson. Alright, it's one of the Dakotas. I mean, it should be easy to find on the map, right? It's a very mountainous region. Let's try to get the exact location here. Where am I? I'm in South Carolina, not Dakota. I'm an idiot. There's discontent. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, this is content? Reservation. Would it be next to... Oh, no, that's Native Americans. Probably. Yeah. That's kind of messed up, bro. Mount Rushmore is right next to Native American reservations. That's so weird. Okay, where the fuck is this? Bismarck is the capital. Okay, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna guess here. Oh, Gettysburg. It must be near Gettysburg, right, guys? Near the highway? Whatever, I don't care. I'm guessing here. Hey! So it was South Dakota, but it's here. Damn, I only got 490 points. You have to be more specific. So it is next to the reservation, though. That's crazy. Mount Rushmore was originally supposed to be the entire body, not just the heads. Cool. Information I did not know. Okay. This looks sick. These are probably tourists. So, oh, but... Damn, this guy just took a picture of her, bro. What the hell? It might be Thailand, yeah. I've never been to Thailand, but they have brownish people, right? It's not fairy. That's Machu Picchu. I'm pretty sure this is not Machu Picchu, but okay. I mean, it might be, but I don't think so. It's Cambodia. Oh, I know this. It's Cambodia. The builders refused to carve out George Washington's historically 12-inch cock. Yeah, I heard about that too. I know, but what if it was? I'll put my life on Cambodia. All right. Let's go Cambodia. Where's Cambodia again? Isn't it some like European shit? Shite? Or African? I don't remember. I remember we literally looked at it the other day. I forgot. South of Hong Kong. Oh, so it's near China. Guys, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Where the hell is Cambodia? Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's the little one in between Thailand and Vietnam. Yeah. I always forget these countries. I don't forget Vietnam or Thailand. Well, Thailand's, I get. Vietnam's easy to remember. This is Vietnam War, I guess. And because it's near Philippines and stuff. All right. See if it's Cambodia. Go to Vietnam, easy clap. Let's go. How'd you know it's Cambodia? Have you just seen that place before? And we gotta be really close to get the good points on this. What is this, Grand Canyon? Bro, I don't know anything about historical places. Yeah, I've seen it. It is Grand Canyon? Or are you just saying that because it looks like a canyon that's grand? It is? Where is the Grand Canyon? Isn't it like Nevada or something? Death Valley National Park. Is it there? Or am I talking out of my ass? I thought Grand Canyon was a desert. No. Grand Canyon is literally a big canyon. Sahara Desert is a desert, though. But that's not in the U.S. There's no water in Death Valley. I feel like it's Western U.S. or Midwest? Where's the Grand Canyon? Bro, I don't like this famous places one. North of Arizona. Is it? All these places are like near reservations. Oh, here, Grand Canyon. It's in the water area, so let's guess like the lake, like Miad. It looks like the way to the lake, but not on the lake. Maybe like here. What? Bruh. Oh. I guess. Oh my god. I didn't even see that shit. I didn't even see that. Oh, that was my bad. Bozo wanted round 2. Why so mean to people? I feel like games like this are so toxic. So I showed him who's the boss. Coolio. Oh. I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've been here. Wait, what? Yeah, I've definitely been here. This is not the Oval Office. What? This is not how the Oval Office looks. I think this is the and I don't know if the Google Maps would get permission to like do that. Or maybe you are, right? How's it Buckingham Palace? You literally have American presidents on the wall. I'd hope it's not Buckingham Palace. This is maybe it is. Maybe it actually is the White House or something. This looks like one of the houses of one of the presidents or something. That's Eastern Europe. What do you guys say? Bro, there's literally American presidents on the walls. Like Grover Cleveland. I think that was him. He was a fat guy. You got the 14th president, I think, maybe. You got Jefferson. You got Monroe, I think. What are you guys saying? I'm stubborn to the point of foolish. Yeah, okay. Can you explain to me why they have American presidents in the Buckingham Palace then? That's what I'm curious on. I don't know why. White House? That's White Home? Bro, guys, I really don't think this is the White House. I've been to Washington. And this looks like the house of a famous president that's like preserved or something. Queen met them all, wanted pictures to remember them. It's tough being immortal. All right, we could go White House. I don't know where it is anyway, so. Ain't no way that's not the home of whites. Well, I'll agree with you there. I think it is the home of whites. All right. It might not be the White House, but it might be like somewhere near the White House. Manor. Where is this shade? It gets so confusing here. Let's just say it was here, near the monument. Bro, you guys were right. It was the White House. It looks so tacky. It looks so shitty. No offense. It doesn't look shitty. It looks tacky. I didn't know it looked like that. I've been to Washington, but not the White House. Why does it look so weird? Imagine we came out here and he's like, no, it's Buckingham Palace, bro. You could. What do you mean? I guessed the White House for you. What do you mean you keep calling? I literally guessed the White House. I was surprised Google was able to get the rights to take pictures of it. We literally got 4,968 points, and you're saying I guessed wrong? I just guessed the monument. Bro, we lost like 40 points there, bro. Calm down. Calm down, sir. Just search Sussy Baka's shrine? Maybe. You guys want to see where I lived in Japan? Wait, let me make sure this doesn't dox me first. Oh my god, it does dox me. Let me make sure it doesn't dox me. I'll dox where I lived in Japan though. Okay. I'd stick with it. They'd fly American flags to remind them that the USA exists. Okay, I lived right here, guys. I lived in Kumamoto. This is Japan. This is South Korea. I went on to Korea. It's like a 2-hour airplane flight from Fukuoka. Oh no, from Kumamoto, I think. Boom, to Busan in 2018 or something. And then like in 2019 or 2020, I went to Seoul. You know? Pretty cool stuff. But let me show you guys exactly where I was, because I know everyone is super interested. Wait, where's Kumamoto? Here it is. Did you ever live in the big cities? In Japan? No. I lived in Kumamoto for 2 years straight. I did visit a lot of Japan, but well, actually, I did live in Kyoto for two months. First, I lived in Kyoto for a month studying abroad, and then a couple of weeks in Tokyo. So I guess I did live there. But what are we playing now? We're playing Look at Me when I was in Japan. We're playing Google. We're just playing GeoGuessr, but I want to show you guys where I lived when I was living in Japan. Yeah, I visited a bunch of Japanese places. What broad did you study? I studied shut up, Dinell. I studied blondes. Yeah. Because, you know, Hitler thought that blondes and blue eyes were a thing, and I'm Jewish, so I was just kind of curious, you know, what that's all about. Can we go to no directions. Can we go to can we actually go to it? Can we actually go to it like on the terrain? How do you do this, guys? I want to show you guys where I lived. Oh my god, it looks so weird like this. Wait, I want to change it. What is this? Bruh. Okay. I lived pretty close to the station. Where did I live? I mean to the castle. I taught at a school right next to the Oh, here. I lived right here. I literally lived right here, like at the station. Wait. Well, how do you go? I'm such a Could you drive there? I know I don't have a driver's license even here. But I know people who got international driver's license and they drove me around. And you drive on the opposite side of the road. Grab the little man and drop him. Oh, thank you. I lived literally right here. Oh my god, this is so nostalgic. What the hell? This is exactly how it looked. Oh my god. Wait, can you do it? You can't view rooms, right? This was my apartment. I was on the 4th floor. 1, 2, 3. I was like, this was me. One of these was me. Can trade doxed. Doxed. I see you. Imagine. Well, I don't know. It says Street View January 2022. Well, someone else lives there now. Look at that. They have clothes and a washing machine. That was my apartment. I lived right here. This is the tram. I would hear it every night. The tram would go around. Do you think you increase the property value? Maybe, because I'm a foreigner. I don't know. No, I would decrease it because I'm a foreigner. If I would guess. This was an after school program that I had kids actually. Some of my students went there. I saw them sometimes. Because I have students that were, I don't know if I should show the schools, but there was a school literally around the block from my house. I mean, it's not like you guys know where this is anyway. Japan does, they don't hate, I don't know if I would say Japan hates foreigners. But don't show the schools. Yeah, good point. They have clothes, like that's something strange. No, that just shows that someone lives in the apartment I lived in. That's all I was trying to say. At a certain point of time, I started running at 4 a.m. in the morning. I would run from my apartment, which is down there. I would run all the way here. And then I would run along this like boardwalk thingy. It's funny, where I live now is close to the ocean too. But this isn't the ocean. This is like a river or whatever. And I would run all the way down. I did this for like 2 weeks and then I got lazy. I ran quite a bit. I used to be really skinny too. Should I show you guys like all the bars I went to and stuff? This feels so surreal. This feels so weird. Go to 28 Oh, Arnold Drive. I remember that. That's your old house, right? Wait, let me just show you guys more of Japan first. You did the boxer thing of running. Yeah, exactly. I did exactly that. Yeah. So I also used to tutor, and I would ride my bike to the tutor's house. I'm not gonna show you where they live, but that would be a little weird. Oh my god, bro. This brings back so many memories. I'm so happy COVID is like dying down. I just need money now so I could travel the world again and stream it. But let me show you guys different places. What if I just type in international bar? I had so many places like bookmarked here, guys. What was let me look at my thing. Go to Praze on Bembi. What was your favorite bar? Yeah, that's what I want to show you guys actually. That's what came to my mind. This was my favorite bar because the guy lived in America for like 20 years and he like I played guitar on his stage. He has like a little stage at his bar. And it was really fun. Hey, what's up, Lando? That's literally half the conversations with Grizz go. Of course they are. Ooh, karaoke bar. Yeah, those are great too. You remember Arnold? Of course. I remember stuff. That pronunciation killed me. Yeah, I don't know. Where did you sing Lola? I probably sang Lola in a lot of places. Oh my god, this is round 1. Wait. I don't know if you guys know what round 1 is. They have some locations in the US. Okay, well, I zoomed into some other area, so we're just going to look at this area. So there's 2 roads in our city that have everything. If you remember yesterday, I was talking about Don Quixote. This is Don Quixote, guys. This is Don Quixote. This was the one in my city. There were a couple, I think, but the one that had weird stuff in it. Whoa, what the hell is this? That is not where I meant to go. Let's go like right here. Oh my god, bro. If Chris is here, he would be going crazy. Actually, I didn't go to this one that often, but this is Don Quixote. The one with the weird like black man underwear and stuff. It's a village I used to live in. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll go through all of your guys' places also. I just want to explore more of this because it's been 2 years and I'm getting nostalgic. And I want to look for... Okay, yeah, let me look on my phone because I have it all like saved or whatever. I have all the locations like... I have so many places bookmarked. Like, look at this for a second, guys. Look at this. These are all the places I have, all the blue stuff. Or, I don't know if you guys could see it that clearly. That's everything I had pinned. Like, it's quite a bit of locations in Kumamoto. So many places were next to each other too. Ooh, oh yes, this place was one of the best bars. It means field and stream. Oh, that's cool. There we go. Yo, this bar, I only went to it a couple of times, but I wanted to go back so often. This bar had oh, am I in the picture? I'm not. This bar had CDs. You could literally just pick oh, you guys don't see it. You just see my face. You guys pick CDs from the wall. And you just ask the guy to put the music, and he puts the music for you. He had like everything. So I asked him to put Eric Clapton music. He had like every album of Eric Clapton's, or every like CD. It was really, really cool. Very cool bar, right? That's what I'm saying. I wish I was a streamer back then, because I would have been able to show you guys such cool stuff. They had like such different styled like cool bars like that all over, and it's a very like small area. Here, let me see what else. Oh yeah, MK. If this is boring, by the way, guys, let me know and we could, do something else. This restaurant, yeah, this restaurant was my favorite restaurant in Japan. Shabu shabu. Shabu shabu is the sound that the meat makes when you swish. It means like swish swish. So you would take the meat over here and you would like put it in this in the broth, and it's like a all you can eat type thing. The sauce here was amazing. So if you ever see MK restaurant, check it out. Did he have the Wiggles self-titles album? I have no idea. I'm just waiting for you to check out my old village. Okay, I'll get to it. Shimotori. That was the name of the street that was very popular. So as you guys could probably tell, this is where all the stuff happens, where all the bars are and everything. And this is where I lived. I lived like a 15-minute walk from everything. Okay? The Kumamoto Castle, which got destroyed during an earthquake a couple of years ago, right here. And one of my schools is right next to it too. Was right next to it. So I had walking distance to everything that was going on. I was very lucky with my location. That meant every time I got drunk, I just walked home too. People had to wait for public transport to get like opened at 6 a.m. I just walked home. Where's the karaoke place I used to go to a lot? Whatever. I'm sure you guys are bored already, but that's just a picture of my Japanese experience, I guess. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Let's actually check out the Dr. Arnold Doctor, whatever. We'll go in order of what you guys told me to check out. This is apparently where Dinell used to live, or he just trolls all the time. I don't know if it is it this area? I don't know. Praze on a Bibel. Oh, we'll check out fairies now too. I did live in that house. Oh damn. You lived in this house? Yeah, you could barely see it because of all the trees. And also because I'm a dumbass and I don't know how to... Here. Does this make you feel nostalgic? It makes me feel nothing. What the... You look like you lived in the middle of nowhere. What the hell? Yo, guys. You just got dogs. Let's go. I hated it. Oh. Praise on Bibol. Sounds like you're trying to get me with the D's nuts joke. Whoa, this is where you live? You used to live in? This looks sick. Wait, how come we can't see street view? You were like right next to the water? You guys live in middle of nowhere places. No offense. I can say no, I believe you, know. Damn. You lived in one of these houses? This looks like a Japanese-styled house. The entrance here. I was isolated most of my life. It sucked. Yeah, that does sound very sucky. I lived in New York most of my life. That sucked, but for other reasons. Just kidding. Nah, New York's okay. Nope, deeper in. That's what she said. What were you, like in the mountains? A mountain boy? Mountain person? Mountain fairy? Wait, where? Like here? Mountain Ethan, I should say. I wasn't able to hang out with friends after school because I couldn't get a ride home. Damn, that sucks. That actually does suck. Yo, look at this house. 2011, bro. They were like, fuck that place. Kumamoto City, 2022, new pictures. Praze an Bibel, 2011. Damn. Oh, I left the village. My bad. I live so far out, it would be a hassle. Yeah, you look like you lived on the side of a highway or something. That's crazy. Oh, this is the village? Is this considered a village? It looks like 2 houses. I don't even know how to like go inside of it. That's what she said. What? Oh, here, I'm inside. Does this make you feel nostalgic? Cornwood. Isn't that S-Fan's name in like GTA? He's a streamer. His last name is Cornwood. Yeah, you can't see much. Not yet. Sheesh. Whoa. What a cool place to hang out with all your friends. Wow. Very, very cool. Very cool area. I'm such an asshole. I think you're lost. Yeah, I'm sorry. Give me a more specific address and we'll find it. Yo, it's B3280. Oh, let's go. It's a goddamn Star Wars robot. All right. Let's do Zawarudo. And by the way, how you doing, Lando? Do you like seeing that on the bottom right? I don't know if he's still here, but guys, go check out Lando Illustrations. He beat me in a game. Where I currently live in Bristol? Nah, you don't need to show your current address. Unless you want to, but I meant your old, like, exact address for your old place, but let's do a little more. Let's do the daily challenge, yeah? You just noticed? Yeah, it's been on screen the past few since I lost. Awesome. Actually, look up the Fry building in Bristol. That's where I do uni. Let me not dox myself. Fry building. Bristol. Excuse me. Damn, bro. Universities look like goddamn castle. Oh, no. Oh, it looks pretty cool. Looks like out of Harry Potter, bro. Looks cool. That's cool. Looks cool. That's one of the buildings. Is that the biggest building? Is that big? That's what she said. Okay, this is the last place I'm looking at. Then I want to do a daily challenge. And, yeah. Yo, that actually looks sick. Japan Center? What is it, somewhere in Cali? Bro, Californians, the one thing that I am jealous of California of is, well, I guess 2 things. One, the weather, I guess. Actually, I don't mind New York weather. The biggest thing I'm jealous of in Cali is the big Japanese population. University of Washington's buildings are all Harry Potterish too. Oh, that's cool. Harry Potter-esque indeed. Nice. Let's say it was on the medium size. Oh, cool. It's in San Francisco. Yeah, I saw that. Kelly gang. Look across the street and see all the restaurants. Okay. Okay. Guys, would you guys watch me if I went to Korea and I streamed in Korea? Bigger question, would you guys give me money so I could go to Korea and stream Korea? Nah. I need to blow up on YouTube or Twitch or something so I could spend money to move. To traverse the world. You said to look at the buildings. Is that question specifically for me? No, it's actually kind of general, but we have a little of every culture. Bruh, we have a little of every culture, but it's better in New York, except Japan, okay? Japanese culture is not as much here. But Cali sucks, okay? New York's better. They have some amazing ramen, makes sense. Which one? Korea. I'd be down to split the cost to go to Korea for a weekend. A weekend? Not a weekend. I want to go to Korea. I want to go to different countries, live there until the visa lets me leave. Better address. No, it does. No, yeah, it sucks. Let's go! I'm happy you agree with me. A lot of chill people like yourself, though, in Cali. Where is this? Where I don't see any of the... Huh? I don't see it. Oh, because I can't move around in this view, right? Oh, I could. Bro, I don't care, bro. I just looked at Japan where I used to live. You think I care about Japanese restaurants in Cali? No offense. I can't afford what you're trying to do. Me neither. I just got 145 mil drop. Let's go! Only because everything's too damn expensive. Oh, New York is the same. Alright, this is the last thing. Then we'll go back to GeoGuessr. For now. Guys, you guys are so distracting, but in a good way. Okay. Oh, the green. Is it the green spot? Oh, it is the green spot. Oh, is this your building? It looks alright. It looks alright. One of these houses, yeah? Yo, if you want surgery, you're right there too. That's cool, I guess. I hate the gas prices right now. LA was up to $6. Yeah. Well, that's because of Russia, Ukraine, sanctions, and COVID. So, inflation. Also, the amount of money that Biden puts for these stuff doesn't help also. Infrastructure deals and stuff. Probably doesn't help. I don't know how big of an impact that actually makes. I thought Google was actually printed there. But hey, you know what? Every goddamn president of the US lately, every one of them, they're just spending more and more money. They don't give a shit. But that is America right now. It was a surgery for like 5 villages. It was way too big for how big the village was. Oh, wow. It's pretty cool, though, that they had that. It looks like a nice, small little village. When I think of village, I don't think of this, though. This seems more like a town to me. But yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's do GeoGuessr. Let's invade foreign territory and make money. We're not invading territory right now. I think we have troops. We don't have American troops on the ground. I think the most that American troops are doing on the ground are like being military advisors to rebel groups in other countries. I don't think we have invading forces right now. The biggest invading force we had was Afghanistan, and they all pulled out, so I think they all pulled out. You didn't live there? It had a pub and a corner shop. Oh. Is that all it had? Oh, Thailand. Is that Thailand? Bitch. Yeah, it literally says Thai. Imagine not knowing where this is. This is like 100% Thailand. It's like not even questionable. Let's go to Bangkok. Let's go. It's literally on the other side, but I'll take it. Yo, I wanna go here to the pyramids of Giza. This shit looks mad fucking cool, bro. And the fact that you could get so close to them. This is from JoJo. That was Thailand. I was right. US pullout game was weak, to be honest. I love how you said that. Pullout game was kind of weak, yeah. And the doctors, I guess, but no one wants to hang out at the doctors. So you only had one pub, but of course you had a pub, even in a small village, because UK be like. Yeah, this is definitely Egypt. I don't know where the pyramids of. See, I know this place because I took a archaeology course in college, and it was really interesting to me, or like ancient history course. I just remember that. Is it in Cairo? I'm gonna guess it's in Cairo. Oh no, here it's literally Giza. The hell? But wouldn't it be next to the well? The whole thing is desert, right? I don't know. I'm just gonna put it here because it says Giza. Let's go! Everyone hates hanging out at the doctor's hours. Aww. So mean. Near the Nile River. Oh, I should have read that before guessing. Oh, that's not even a guess. It was 100% sure Egypt. A bakery, but that's because in Cornwall I could shut my eyes, throw a stone, and hit a bakery. Wait, were there that many bakeries there? Probably a lot of family. Oh, what is that, Russia? Oh, no, it's not. If I didn't see the little circle, this is like South America? Yeah, this is South America. Juegos. That means balls. This is obviously Guatemala. Tortas Mexicanas. Are you sure it's Guatemala? I mean, you might be right. I don't know, but it literally said Mexican tortas, no? I'm thinking it's Mexico. Mexico City, let's go. Who says tortas Mexican in Mexico? I don't know. You were right. It was Guatemala. Wait, how'd you know it was Guatemala? Because of the flag? Damn, Dino, you mad smart. Mexico wouldn't advertise being Mexican. Cornish pasties are a staple food source. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to bliss through these for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, these are daily ones. I forgot about that too. My bad. The flag? Oh, this is one of the Nordic shits. The one of the Nordic places. Severagen. I don't want to say the end of that. Severanger. That just sounds wrong for some reason. Oh yeah, this must be somewhere Nordic, right? We do have a timer up here, actually. I just realized, but you defiled me. I'm sorry. Finland, Norway. How about we go in the middle and say it's Sweden? Bro, it was a goddamn island. The Faroe Islands. You should have known this, a British man. How did you not know that? Oh my god. Sad. Okay, last area. Oh, it's 3 minutes per map. Oh, I'm dumb. He just knew. Auto service. Oh, FO. What is that? Finland? It's probably FN. What is FO? We got 2 languages though, which is pretty cool. I'd say what the hell is this? FO. What the hell is FO? FO. I'm thinking. I'm not sure actually. Whoa, what was that company? Timber Tyanistan. What alphabet has that fake letter? It's like Kyrgyzstan or something? What is this? Beroa. You literally forgot they exist. Philippines. Oh, actually, Philippines might be an amazing guess. JK? Why JK? It's Norway? Why do you say Norway? FO is Norway? I don't know. Fotomiosten. It sounds German. Everything sounds German. Norway might be it, though. Spiral Blue Water. Finland. I love how you just start a whole country. Fotomiostoin. That's definitely photographs, right? Cafe Sibco. It's a place that speaks English pretty well. And seems kind of Nordic. But what's FO? Oh, we were saying Finland. Too modern to be Finland? Philippines? I don't know. I feel like it could be Philippines. Musikandilin. That means music. Music store, right? It's close enough to English. Or it's like similar enough to like Latin roots or whatever. So I don't know. This is a hard one. Does anyone know what country they use that? They have paved roads. Ain't no way it's Philippines. I know some people who live in Philippines. I think if you live in Manila or some certain areas, it could be better. And pretty beautiful too. Oh, a ship. United Arab Emirates. I was thinking for a second. That doesn't make sense though. Let's go with Finland by the border next to the water. Actually, no, it's mountainous. Let's go like here. Turco. Bro, again? Bro, they're such pranksters, bro. The hell is this BS? It's the Faroe Islands again. Alright, guys. We're gonna do one more and then call it a night. Yeah, they did prank us hard. We just did the daily challenge. What else can we do that's kind of like cool? Ooh. Botswana. Oh, countries. I didn't know this game had countries. Guys, where's Botswana? This is South Africa. This is Madagascar. This is what? I didn't guess. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. Never mind. Let's do not famous places. True. Oh, this is different places. I want to guess countries, guys. I want to guess countries. Guess countries game. I just want to get better at countries right now. I don't know why. Hey, Mauritania. Where the hell is that? It sounds very familiar, but what the hell is Mauritania? Where's Mauritania? Mauritania. Anyone know? Africa? Yeah, if you don't know, it's in Africa. Oh, it's speedrun.com. Yo, let's try to get the speedrun record on this, yeah? That's a good video idea. Speedrun countries. That seems like it would be fun. And it wouldn't take too long. But maybe it would. Watch time. Let's go. Alright, I don't know where Mauritania is. What just fell? Up here, back. My game capture device. My game capture device fell. Bruh, I know, I'm sorry. Wiki race, moon to roses. I do want to do wiki races too, but why moon to roses? It would be like Russia to Ukraine. Fucked with an anchor, okay. I have no idea where this is. I don't like this. Can we do a different one? Countries of the world quiz. Alright, let's start. Oh, it's just typing them. That's boring. Guess the country by picture. Let's do that. Guess the country by silhouette. Country silhouettes. Okay. Vietnam? Angola? Tanzania? Kenya? I have no idea. Yeah, we got Vietnam. What is this one? This is Japan. What is this one? Kenya? Yeah, you were right. Italy. You got the boot. What? Indonesia? I actually don't know. Indonesia, right? I was thinking Indonesia. All right, nice. Namibia? I want to guess Germany, but it kind of looks like Namibia. I mean, Germany is like that size, I feel like, but Brazil? Okay. Australia. Dominican. I don't know. Strength or dexterity? For what? Go with dexterity. It's more fun. Yeah, it's multiple choice, bro. Damn, trying to show off your knowledge. Papua New Guinea, Dominican Republic, or Japan? It's definitely not Japan. Dominican, I feel like, is not this whole thing. I don't know. Isn't it like this? Or this? Like half of it? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Papua New Guinea. Mexico. Ireland? Sri Lanka? Oh, Madagascar. Decide what to level in Elden Ring. Oh, that's Madagascar, no? I was thinking Sri Lanka too, but Madagascar. All right, let's see. Let's see who's right. Hey, let's go! 10 out of 10. It was Madagascar. Let's go! Damn, I'm a genius. I didn't know the Papua New Guinea. This was a guess, but I knew it wasn't Dominican Republic or Japan. Brazil? I didn't think this was Brazil. That was all Cortez. Indonesia, I wasn't 100% sure on. Kenya, I didn't know. Damn. The rest you guys got. Nice. That was cool. Alright. This is the last thing. And then we're ending stream because I got a pee-pee also. Let's do classic. Let's do the Zawaru though. Last one. Sri Lanka's egg-shaped. Ooh. You're so smart, thanks. When you get mad when you got to negative. Don't worry, when we get to 10,000, I'll reset it, I'm sure. What the hell? Road closed. The roads look American because of the yellow in between. The hell's a old ass looking place? Okay, I'm pretty sure it is America because of the stop sign. No idea where in America though. I'm not good with American geography. This is obviously observed Texas. Oh! Adopt a highway. Anyone have pride, don't litter. Anyone know where Pendleton is? Pendleton, it sounds like somewhere Midwest or something. Not British road signs, so America. Yeah. Speed limit 40. America. It might be Texas. I have no idea. Pendleton has a famous military base? Ooh. Pendleton sounds very familiar, but it sounds like Pendleton, Indiana, or something like that. Pendleton, Oregon. Does that have a ring to it? I don't know. Let's try. Pendleton, Oregon. Camp Pendleton. I have no idea. It was South Carolina. Okay. What are these places that they're putting us in, guys? What is this? It's like a farm. You know, people look at the sky to see how the sun is or whatever for this. Not Kansas. I am tempted to agree with that. Oh, for this, I have no idea. Oh, Symbio. I don't think this is the US, actually. Oh, this song? I feel like this is Italy. Don't ask me why. It's a very mountainous region. Oh, we have a sign that we could barely see. Let's go. Whoever made this game is a genius. They're just using Google's shit and making money off of it. Polyscene. Polyscene is describing those things, the way they do agriculture or whatever, or the war or something. So I'm gonna guess Poland. Don't ask me why. Poland is next to Ukraine. Ukraine's next to Russia. So here's Poland. It's mountainous, so I'm gonna say here. Okay, Slovenia. Not too far off. Bro, all these pictures are the same. What the hell is that car? It's an Audi, I think. But what the hell is that? What the hell? Are they about to crash? Oh, it's going... That's a weird... Are those cows? The hell? Those are cows. What a weird looking area. Well, not really, but... That's certainly a vehicle, right? Okay. They go on the right side of the road. And it's yellow in the middle. So I'm thinking US, but It doesn't look like US. Okay, brown people. It's a warmer climate. What countries do they? Oh, it's a Volkswagen or an Audi. I don't know. It's guys. What country do they drive on the right side of the road? I can't tell if it's even the right side. Mexico. I guess it could be Mexico. Every country except like 2. Wait, what side of the road do we drive on in the States? On the right, right? I don't remember. We drive on the right, right? In Japan, they drive on the left. In Britain, they drive on the left. Oh, it's just funny to see cows. I don't know. Oh, a sign. Okay, this is useful. Logradurg. Okay, this is Germany. It has erg in it, which means it's Germany or a Nordic country. Whoa, look at these houses. But this looks like Mexico. This looks like a Mexican city I was in. I was very poor. Cool looking roads, though. What's up, Nico? Yes, on the right? Okay. Both countries drive on the left are former British colonies, including South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Ah, interesting. Okay. Neither. Can we see the signs? Sure. That's something the US does that most of the world does, which is surprising. When you think of the metric system and stuff, US is weird. Does it say Texas? What does it say? Terrenos. Now I'm thinking it's like Mexico again. What is that phone number? Phone. Esta casa. Okay, this is definitely Spanish, right? What do you guys think about Mexico? Dinell, any ideas of where specifically in Mexico or anyone else? And look, they got a nuclear bunker over here. Mi casa es tu casa. Aw, thank you. Not that good. I have eye. You have eye infection? Aw. Cancun? Oh, they got a flag. That's a Mexican flag, right? Or am I dumb? Or Cancun? Oh, is that the Cancun flag? That's Brazil. Oh, yeah, that's Brazil. I'm so shit with flags. So, do you guys think it's Brazil then? Or it's just... Whoa, that's a lot of... That doesn't look good. Let's go with Brazil. What am I doing? Okay. Let's go with Brazil. I was gonna say guess closer to the equator. Then Mexico, Brazil sounds about right. And it was warm climate, it felt like, right? Near the mountains. So maybe it's near this mountain or near the other mountains. Let's guess around here. Oh. Was there a lot of water? Shit. It was Brazil, though. Stop. This doesn't look like the American stop, but the stop sign is American, so. Ping pong. I'm gonna stream with ping pong. Wow! What's up, gamer? We're actually gonna end stream soon, and I gotta go pee pee. But what's up? How you doing? How you doing? I don't think this is the U.S., but I do at the same time. Well, damn. I think you guessed in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Oh. Oops. Okay, this is the U.S. It said Citizens Bank. It looks like everything's in English, and the stop sign, and it says Honda. Stop sign, it looks, all the signs look American. Next question, where the hell in America? You got a racing game? Ooh, what game? Twin Rivers Associates. What the hell is that? I spent the entire deciding whether to stream tonight. I've decided not to. Okay. Cool. Monroe Muffler Baker. Sherwin Williams. Bro, I need to travel the US. I don't know anything. All I know is like the big cities. I need to travel so I could play this game better. Dirt 3. Oh, I've never heard of that, but that sounds cool. Is it a motorcycle game? How you doing though, gamer? Don't know why I needed to share that, but share it I did. it's fine to share. Sherwin-Williams. They got a tractor out here. This is Irving, Pennsylvania. That sounds right. You know what? I'm gonna guess Irving, Pennsylvania. That just sounds right. I'm a goddamn genius. Oh, it was Boston. It was New Hampshire. Well, I wasn't that far away. Okay, last map. God damn these maps, bro. What the hell is this? A car game. Cool. Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing. Is that a game? I've never heard of that. Okay, there's just mountains. I don't know where the hell this is. The roads are not yellow, too. Yellow roads are usually US. I don't know why. We have white roads, too, but I have no idea where this is. Any guesses, guys? This is the last guess. Stream ends after this. I've been holding in my piss. Well, it doesn't end. We might raid someone, but... Oh, look, the camera from the Google cars. It's Cali. Or Italy. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Let's guess Cali. Mountainous near the water. I think green is grass or mountains. Or Peru. It was Greece. We wouldn't even have gotten that. Sheesh. Alright, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like my new glasses. I don't like them. Let's raid someone. I don't know who. I've been holding in my pee-pee, though. I might have to raid and then goddamn go pee-pee as hard as I can. Oh, Italy was closer. 100% for sure. Who do we raid? Let's raid Trisket. Let's raid Trisket Biscuit. He's playing Fall Guys. Straight upset Trisket. Raid Jared? No, we're gonna raid Trisket. Oh my god. He has a double T in his... Wait. Upset Trisket. I spelled it right. There we go. All right. If you guys don't know who he is, I mean, you should by now. We play a lot. We've done collabs a lot. He's pretty chill. Pretty loud sometimes. Reacts to a lot of stuff and plays a lot of Nintendo games. Mario Kart specifically. He's playing Fall Guys right now. Let's raid him. And I'm gonna do some big ass pee-pee. And be sure to pop in tomorrow if you would like. For some more Wordle and stuff. It's actually pretty fun lately. And some goddamn spiciest ramen in the world. We're gonna have that tomorrow on stream. That should be a cool stream. And yeah. Thanks for coming as always. See you, Emming. And I'll see you guys next time. I love you all. Cortez, Dino, Fairy, Doctor, Nico, Gamer, everyone.
What the fuck? What's up, Raiders? Welcome on in. What's up, Pong? How are you? How was your stream, Elliot? Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Jared, or Upset Trisket. Call me Trisket for short. Welcome in, everybody.